Why does God allow evil to exist? If God is an all-good, benevolent deity, why did he create a world with so much suffering in it? Why allow people to experience pain, agony, and despair? Why do children get cancer? And why do evil people roam the world without consequence? This is a question humanity has pondered since the beginning of time. Some people even point to this as undeniable proof that God doesn't exist, arguing that it makes no sense for a loving creator to allow so much darkness. If he is as powerful as we believe, doesn't he have the power to stop it all and make the world a paradise? Others ask, if God created everything, doesn't that mean he created evil as well? The reality is, people are looking at this all wrong. The truth behind this centuries-old paradox is much simpler than you could ever imagine. Today, I'm going to reveal exactly why God allows evil in the world. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why our reality is structured the way it is. The reason I decided to make this video was because of a comment someone left on my channel. They asked, if God exists, why allow evil? When I tried to explain, they replied that I was just using the same old excuse to justify believing in a non-existing God. That stuck with me for days, because honestly, they were right to be frustrated. People have tried to answer this question millions of times, but they always give the same generic, surface-level response that doesn't actually help anyone understand. They brush it off by saying God works in mysterious ways, or they claim that suffering is just a tool meant to build our character and test our faith. But is that really the reason for all the pain and suffering we experience? While building character is a small part of it, the truth is much more profound than God just letting you suffer to teach you a lesson. The reality is, God doesn't want anyone to suffer. He didn't create the world for that purpose. To understand why evil exists, we have to look back at the original blueprint of creation. We all know the story. God created the Garden of Eden, placing Adam and Eve in a divine paradise designed for perfect harmony. But he gave them one single rule: do not eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. We all know what happens next. The serpent infiltrates the garden. He tricks them into eating the fruit with the promise that their eyes will be open to the ultimate truth. The serpent didn't just want to disobey. He wanted them to believe they could be their own God. As a result of their disobedience, God confronts Adam and Eve and casts them out of the garden. Most people view this purely as a story of punishment, but this exact event holds the key to understanding why evil exists in our world today. And it proves that God was not the one who created it. This is where some people ask, if God is all-knowing, why didn't he prevent Adam and Eve from eating the fruit? Why would he allow the serpent into the garden if he already knew its plans? This all goes back to the core principle of God's vision for humanity. When he created Adam and Eve, he didn't want them to be blind servants who obeyed him without a choice. He wanted to give them free will so they can choose to love him on their own. This is how love truly works. Think about it. If you're programmed to love someone, do you actually love them? It's like building a robot and instructing it to tell you that you're great all the time. The robot isn't saying it because it truly believes it. It's doing it because it's programmed to. If God had prevented the serpent from entering the garden and testing humanity, he would be stripping them of the choice to love and obey him. He would be making the choice for them, and that is not love nor free will. But if God is good and loves us, why would he punish us for making a mistake? This is where we find the real truth. I have an analogy that explains exactly why God had no choice but to cast Adam and Eve out of the garden, and why it wasn't a punishment at all. Think of the Garden of Eden like a party you're hosting. You create the perfect environment, great food, great music, great friends. But you invite one friend who has a bad reputation. You have heard he likes to steal, but you give him the benefit of the doubt. When the party starts, it's going perfectly. Everyone is having a great time. But eventually, you realize your phone is missing. You ask around, but no one claims to have seen it. You instantly suspect the friend with the bad reputation. But to actually confront him, you need undeniable proof. So, you throw a second party. You invite all the same people back, but this time, you secretly install hidden cameras and you purposely leave some cash sitting out. By the end of the night, the money is gone. You check the footage, and there it is. The friend you gave a chance betrayed you. You confront him, and he immediately apologizes and hands the money back. But you know the truth now. He isn't sorry he did it. He is just sorry he got caught. Because he proved he is willing to steal from you twice, you can never invite him to another party. If you let a known thief back into your house, they would just ruin it for everyone else. This is exactly what happened in the Garden of Eden. The garden was the first party, a perfect paradise. Adam and Eve were the guest, God allowed the serpent into the party knowing its reputation. Because God is all-knowing, he knew the serpent would tempt them and he knew they would fall for it. But if God had stopped the serpent at the front door, he would have been making a choice for them. To have true free will, he had to give them the chance to resist the temptation themselves. When they failed, God had to confront them. He already knew what they did, but he wanted them to admit it. He wanted to see if they would be honest. Even though they admitted to it, he knew it was only because they got caught. In order to see if they were truly sorry, he needed to test them. Now, just like the host of the party, God must protect his home. He has to make sure no one ruins paradise ever again. So, he creates the second party. That second party is the physical world we live in right now. It is a testing ground outside of the garden. He places humanity into this new environment with the same temptation still present, and he turns on the cameras. And that camera is your conscience. Every choice you make is being recorded. He watches to see who will continue to choose the lie and who will choose the truth. When the test is over, God knows exactly who can be allowed back into eternal paradise, confident that they would never ruin it again. This explains why God had no choice but to cast Adam and Eve out of the garden. He did it to protect the paradise from corruption, to ensure it remains a perfect sanctuary for those who choose good. But this only explains why he had to remove humanity. How does it explain why evil exists in the first place? Simply put, evil is the rejection of good. God did not create evil. Everything he created was entirely good. But because he chose to give his creation free will, he gave them the ability to freely choose good. By default, that means he also had to allow them the ability to reject it. And that rejection is what evil truly is. Now, you might be asking, but God created the serpent, and the serpent is evil, right? Well, no. God did not make the serpent evil. What made him that way was his own developing jealousy. He rejected the original plan because he felt he deserved to be worshipped. Many interpret the serpent as a representation of Lucifer. Lucifer was an angel God created to be good and serve his kingdom. God made him so perfect and beautiful that Lucifer began to believe he deserved to be worshipped like God himself. This idea corrupted his spirit, leading to his exile from heaven. He didn't fall because God made him evil. He fell because he made himself evil. He then tricked humanity into believing the same exact lie he fell for, that they could be their own gods. This is why he told Adam and Eve that if they ate the fruit, their eyes would be open and they would live forever like gods. He was poisoning them with the exact same jealousy he was infected with. God had to stop the spread of that evil in his paradise. So, he removed them from the garden and sent them to earth to be tested. What happens on earth isn't God's fault. It is humanity's fault. God doesn't want anyone to suffer. He doesn't want any pain or destruction. God could come down and stop evil from happening at any moment. He could prevent every disaster, disease, or war. He could force the world to be good. But doing that would completely defeat the purpose of humanity being here in the first place. This is a test. If God interferes, the results are tainted, and all of this was for nothing. As much as it hurts him to see humanity choose evil time and time again, he has to let the test run its course. So when it's finally over, he can see who chose good and who rejected it. He can see who deserves to be allowed into paradise and who doesn't. For those who don't make it, it isn't because God wanted them to fail. God gave them an entire lifetime to choose what is right, or to prove they have truly repented when they choose wrong. But if a person continues to reject good, he has no choice but to reject them. He isn't rejecting them out of cruelty. He is protecting everyone else. He has to do it to preserve the paradise for all of those who actually deserve it. Now, I could already see people in the comments asking, but what about the flood? God destroyed an entire civilization and only saved one man and his family. That is clearly evil, right? The truth is, God didn't flood the world because he wanted to destroy his own creation. That makes absolutely no sense. If that were the case, the moment humanity failed in the garden, he wouldn't have given us a second chance. He could have just wiped us out right then and saved himself the trouble. The reason he flooded the earth was that humanity had completely rejected good. They were entirely consumed by the serpent's lies. He hoped humanity would resist the temptation, but they failed again, and this time the evil got completely out of hand. So in order to not end humanity, he came up with a compromise, a third chance. He decided to cut off the infected parts of humanity and save the only family who chose good. This way, he can give humanity a clean slate. God didn't want to flood the world. He even made it clear that it grieved him, and he promised he would never do it again. But sadly, after giving us a third chance, humanity failed them once again. This is where we see just how good God truly is. Instead of losing hope in humanity after we failed for a third time, He didn't give up on us. He did the exact opposite. God decided that maybe humanity needed to see that the test could actually be passed. So, He decided to prove it by putting Himself in our shoes. He stepped into the physical world as a human, born just like the rest of us. He then showed humanity exactly how the test can be completed. He showed us what we needed to do, and He paid the ultimate price for it. He was betrayed, humiliated, tortured, and killed. And throughout all of it, He never once rejected good. He passed the test under the worst conditions imaginable. The evil that had consumed the world tried to do everything in its power to break Him. But He proved that if you choose good and reject evil, the test can be passed. So to answer the ultimate question, why does God allow evil to exist? He allows it because true love requires free will, and true free will requires the option to reject God. We are not abandoned prisoners in a cruel, pointless universe. We are in the middle of a very important test. The Garden of Eden was the first party. The physical world we live in right now is the second, and your conscience is the camera. God allows evil so He can give us the choice to choose good. The serpent wants you to believe the test is rigged, that the Creator is a tyrant, and that you should just serve your own ego. But the Creator stepped into this exact world, faced the exact same evils, and proved that the test can be beaten. So when people say God created evil or they blame suffering on Him, remember the choice is ultimately ours. We determine if we're choosing good or rejecting it. Did this explanation help you better understand why evil exists? Do you think I'm wrong? Or maybe you have your own theory as to why. I'll be checking the comment section to see what you guys have to say. Now, I know I normally don't make content exactly like this, and I focus on revealing the darkness that hides and manipulates humanity. But I feel like videos like this are just as important. If you like this video and want to see a part 2 where I explain other concepts, comment part 2 below. If enough of you are interested, I will make sure to make more videos just like this. Now, this connects directly to the content I normally cover. Many of you ask why I focus so much on Hollywood and movies. The reason I talk about movies so much is that some of these films illustrate this idea perfectly. Recently, I covered a movie called American Satan. In that movie, we see a rock band choose to reject good so they can be worshipped like gods. At the end of the movie, we saw exactly what that fame truly cost them. It was a perfect representation of why you should always choose good. If you want to see the breakdown on the movie that showed what fame actually costs, watch this video right now. If you want to further support the channel, join me on Patreon. I just released an exclusive breakdown about a rapper who reveals why he left the music industry, and it connects directly to all of this. You're not going to want to miss that video. When you join, you get immediate access to this video and over 60 other exclusive videos. Plus, I recently announced a new member goal. Once we hit that threshold, I will make all Patreon exclusive videos free for everyone. Another way to support the channel is to make sure you're subscribed so you never miss any of these important breakdowns. Also, make sure to hype this video so it can reach as many people as possible. Your hype could really help spread this video. I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.